Giant rats and flammable sewer gas. Has Baltimore already collapsed? I don't know, but after reading through this report that I found on the collapse subreddit, I've got that up on the screen now. If this is what's coming for American cities as we continue in this, it looks like collapse. I think if you guys watch Southern Prepper 1, within the last couple of days, he started saying, these aren't shortages, this is full-on collapse. I don't think he's wrong. You listen to his reports, you listen to the things that are going on around the country, and it's scary, but you don't really hear the whole picture. What I found today, now this is probably 5 days old. I pulled this off Reddit. This is a report from somebody in Baltimore, Maryland, and it's terrifying if you think about what this might mean for your city. The things that I'm going to discuss here in just a minute. Any of these problems could affect you. They could affect the people that you know, the neighborhoods that you live and work in. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. They go through several sections, so I'll go through all of their sections. So again, this is somebody from Baltimore, Maryland. On the food front, they say that they used to have fruit and veggie vendors brought in horse-drawn carts through the neighborhood every week. Kind of a, city fun thing, a thing that they always do. The fruit was always fresh. It was nice to be able to buy those strawberries and watermelons just out walking on the sidewalks. They've stopped. This person just noticed that the carts just haven't been there this year. And I think that's how some things are going to be. We're just going to notice one day, like, oh, you know what? That thing that I used to do, the thing I used to enjoy, the thing I used to buy, you just can't get it anymore. They're not advertising or televising this stuff, and I don't know that they should. I think people need to know. I think you guys need to know. You need to know. That's why you're watching things like this. So they go on talking about food, and they say, the local markets have closed in favor of them needing to go. They now need to go to like produce warehouses to buy things. They go into the grocery stores and the shelves are, a quarter empty, is what they're saying. Weird things out of stock, things like cat food. Produce is really low. There's no corn. They say that's weird because Maryland is known for corn. I don't know. I guess Maryland is known for corn according to this. But there's no ice cream, so no ice cream, no produce, no corn, no cat food, but plenty of toilet paper. They also mentioned in the meat department that packages had been opened and then rewrapped in plastic, and they don't know why, in plastic wrap, and they don't know why they had done that. In housing, they're saying that, the homeless rates are just through the roof, and that, homeless, there's always been a lot of homeless people in Baltimore, but what they're saying now is that there's just a lot of extra tents in the city parks. This person said on their street corner, there's a family living in an RV, and they're taking and having to empty their sewage into the roadside drains. I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to dump your RV sewage into the drain, but what are you supposed to do? You can't carry it around with you all the time. You have to empty it. And it sounds like, people are starting to do what they have to do, and they're disregarding the rules. They talk about house pricing being way up, and that these houses are being sold, and companies are coming in and turning a 2-bedroom home into, in this example, they turned it into 3 apartments. And so there's 3 families living in what used to be a 2-bedroom home. And they're probably paying, they don't talk about it here, but, those 3 families are probably paying through the roof to live in what used to be a 2-bedroom home. They also mention one thing here about having a bunch of trash in the backyard. So as I get through this report, you'll understand why there's so much trash in these people's yard. In what sounds like the suburbs, as you read through the comments, I don't have them here, but this person lives in the suburbs of Baltimore in a, modern city, and the neighbors have trash in the backyard. So I'll get to why that is. It's a little disturbing, and it was really the first thing that made me think, well, what if it happens here? So they talk about the city's short 1,000 election judges. I don't know what an election judge is, but the job pays $100 to $300 a day, and now no one wants to risk it because people get beat up at the polls, they get intimidated, things like that. Utility bills, water bill through the roof. They're paying $150 a month as one person living in their home, and they've tried to contact the city to get it reassessed, and they nothing happens, right? Nobody gets back to them. They say that people, just in general, they tag it as social. They say people are just more anxious, more angry. So they see a lot of rainbow flags and BLM flags in people's driveways and in people's yards, but that the people are a lot meaner now, and that this has been a shift. People that they've known in this neighborhood for years have become much more aggressive. The example that they give is that a little kid fell off of his bike onto this one lady's yard, and she yelled, get off my lawn, you effing, in. Now, I don't know if that's normal. It's not normal in any part of the world I've ever lived in, but I've never lived in Baltimore, for what it's worth. So I take that for what it's worth. But they say that, this is out of the ordinary, and that this neighborhood and that the people here generally were happier and nicer. That kind of leads into crime. They say crime is just through the roof. Real quick, I'll go through both gas stations in their neighborhood were robbed at gunpoint last week. A woman was carjacked and a man was robbed at the 7-Eleven. Another man was robbed 3 blocks over. And over the weekend, there were 7 shootings and 22 robberies reported. And, there's a lot of crimes that go unreported. If you, let's see, they go on to talk about there's a lot of crime within the police force there. The city's attorney released the list of 300 police officers who'd committed crimes, lied, or did something so bad they say that they can't be called to testify. I guess they just dismiss those cases. Almost 150 murders so far this year in Baltimore. The police just don't investigate low-level crime anymore. They say it's the city's policy. The attorney actually made a policy, the city attorney, DA, made a policy that she won't prosecute low-level crime, prostitution, drug use. People do drugs and have sex openly in public. You can smell marijuana when people drive by, and there are a lot of car accidents because people are drunk and high. Baltimore doesn't prosecute low-level crime anymore. Now, I know in that list there's probably, everybody has different opinions. This isn't so much, I don't think it's important that the thing, that in general, we need law and order. We need, there need to be rules. People need to follow them. We can't have people doing drugs and having sex openly in public. That's not a good thing for modern society. They go on to talk about, I'm not sure what YouTube's going to feel about this. Third or fourth time this year, Baltimore City employees have been arrested for inappropriate images on their computers and things like that, and that nothing's being done about it. They just don't really look into it. They protect their own. Back to the, off of crime, back to that family, the 3 families in the 2-bedroom home with a yard full of trash. Why is that happening? So that's the last section they really touch on here. Is the infrastructure section, and they say the city hasn't picked up recycling in 10 weeks. That's 10 weeks of bottles, cans, plastic. I mean, if you're trying to recycle, you can wind up with quite a bit. And so they've not picked it up in 10 weeks. Trash pickup hasn't been done in 4 weeks. What's been happening? This person says, a man on my block rents a U-Haul every second week and takes our trash and recycling somewhere. They don't ask where the man takes it anymore. They just chip in money to help. That's a good. So this is the thing that kind of made me think, what's it going to look like when these things start happening to us? In the area where I live, if they stop doing regular trash pickup, I think people will burn it. I think they will. I live out in the country, so I think people will just put it in a burn barrel and they'll light it on fire. And, there may be some people who try not to burn a bunch of plastic, but there's going to be a lot of people who just toss it in the burn pile, and that's going to be how it gets dealt with. There's going to, already today you can go find litter up and down the roads. What if they just missed it for a couple of days out here? If I go and drop my trash off to be picked up and they don't pick it up, within 24 hours the animals will be into it and there's going to be trash everywhere. And I think things will happen that fast locally. So you're just going to have little things start to fail. Little sinkholes in society is kind of how I visualize it. And so they're talking about there's no trash pickup. The sewage system is so bad that there's flammable gas in the plant, and sewage is backing up into people's homes, businesses, and churches. This person reports that sewage backed up into a church's baptism pool. There's potholes in the road so big that they just don't drive down those roads anymore. These roads get no traffic because the holes are so big. And they never fix anything. They never fix any of it. And this last part, they talk about the environment, and it's back to the trash problem again. They say they don't see squirrels anymore. They see very large rats. They've got, they called a pest control company that uses terrier dogs to hunt rats. They're all backed up with calls, and they were too expensive anyway. Because of the trash laying around, the rats are out. They've got rats running around. And what do rats bring? In their case, this person reports rat snakes. Not a bad problem to have. Like if you got to have snakes, rat snakes are good ones to have. They'll at least eat the rats, and they will eat some other local things. But guys, again, the trash thing, for some reason, that's the one that really hit home for me. As people stop going to work, as people stop being able to put fuel in the tanks, as people have to start really thinking about, like, I got to solve my food problem today, I can't go deal with something else. Things that you take for granted are just gonna go away. And you need to be prepared for that. My advice, keep buying, buy some extra food. Get creative with your plastic bottles so you don't have to burn those. All right, thanks. I'm out.